Okay, here we are again, live. Hope you guys can hear me all right. Well, it's very humid here right now, and the weather has not been good, but it's either really, really hot or it's really, really humid, and right now it's humid. So, good morning, Richard. Good morning, everybody. Hope all of you are doing very well. I'm doing just fine, although I am hot and humid. Hot and sticky. But here I am. This is, we're at Cafe Amazon again. Hello, Mr. Carnivore. Yeah, I'm here at Cafe Amazon. I'll tell you what, Cafe Amazon scored on the location. Starbucks is down there at the other end, and the location isn't that great. You know, with this place, you just walk right into where the driveway is. You just come right in, and I'm telling you, this place gets packed. I mean, it is full. Whereas when I went to Starbucks, I've been to Starbucks there a couple of times, and there's not that many people. It's very, very big. And I just think their location is the wrong location. Now, they are opening up 2 more locations in October. That's what Beer told me, and she's staying on, you know, to help them. But so what's going on today? Actually, today in America is Patriot Day. It's the annual observance on September 11th to remember those who were injured or died during the terrorist attacks over there in the United States on September 11, 2001. So let us not forget that September 11th is it should be remembered. And I always remember it over here. That's one thing that I do think about when I think about America is September 11th. And I just can't believe it's that long ago, 22 years ago. So it's been quite some time, but we don't forget. I'm sure there's a lot of Americans there who remember everything, and yeah, it's not good. I've been to the memorial there in New York, and it's just it's something that we should remember. So a few days ago, I mentioned that Mr. Tom applied for his Social Security. That was August 29th. And yesterday he was approved. He got an email yesterday that approved him for his Social Security. So less than 2 weeks for him to get approval. And I think that's pretty good. So hopefully it'll remain that way. But he's pretty happy. And he's not sure when the money will be coming. I told him it may not come until October 1st or November 1st, but he thinks it's going to come rather quickly. But we shall see. All right, one other thing is I am in the middle of my 150-day food challenge, 150 baht a day food challenge. That's where I go out, and every single day I got 150 baht to spend for food, for groceries, for whatever it is. That's what I have to spend. And I will say this, it's not all that difficult to get food, but it is difficult to fill up. I mean, you can get a meal for 50 baht if you want. But if you're gonna eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's not gonna be all that easy. And what I'm having a problem with is, where do I find the food and what am I going to eat? Because I don't want to continually eat over and over again. I don't want to continually eat the same thing. So that's what the difficult part is. But I have 150 baht to spend each day for a week. It's just a week. And then I can go back to, buying sausage and bacon and, ground beef and pork and whatever else I'm eating. But it hasn't been all that easy to find foods that are different and that I want to eat. And it seems that like here in the mall, for 70 baht you can get a meal, but it's really nothing I want to eat. It's very small. Same with 80 baht. I ate some curry a while back that was 80 baht here, and it was just a tiny little bowl. And I was like, this doesn't fill me up. I need like 2 of these, maybe even 3. So you have to take that into consideration. And if you do want something that fills you up, it needs to be about 100, at least 100 baht, maybe as much as 150 baht. There, if you want to get cow soy, thank you very much, Richard. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I got that's a little more than 150 baht. It's about what, $4.60 or something like that. But if I want to get cow soy here, it's going to cost 109 baht, and it's very good. But 109 baht, that means it leaves me 41 baht for the rest of the day, which is not that much. I mean, you know, I only really eat twice a day, and I have a coffee, which I'm not counting the coffee at home because I already had it. But if I go across the street and want a cow soy, it's 60 baht. So, you know, that's all that it is. It's about where am I going to get the food. I walked down to the market yesterday to find food. There was really nothing there. I didn't want anything because most of it was fried food, or it was fattening, or it was sweet, or whatever it was, or I would have to cook everything up. And I mean, I may do that today where I grab some stuff and decide to cook it up. So that means my budget's 150 baht. So the trick is to find good food that fills you up and you're still within the budget, which is easier said than done. Today we're going to talk about America. And, you know, I'm thinking a little bit differently than I was originally when this topic kind of came up. And the reason the topic comes up is because I'm always getting messages telling me about America, and oh, this is bad in America, that's bad in America, this is what's going on in America. And, you know, I don't really want to look at it. And then I started really thinking about it, and I thought, well, why do I need to keep up with what's going on in America? Yeah, I don't really want to do that. Good morning, John. Good morning, Mr. Korean. I don't really want to do that, but what I have been doing is, you know, I've been a little bit under. Like yesterday, I think I was 6 baht over, so I could spend 156 baht. I was 14 baht under, so today I can spend 164 baht. So I've been doing that. So I'll see what I can come up with today. I don't know. I'm trying to plan it out a little bit, but it's very difficult to do so. They do at 7-Eleven have boiled eggs, they have bananas, and really they have some sandwiches and stuff, but they're you know, you want to get yourself a cheeseburger, it'd be like a chicken burger, and it's like 49 baht, and it's not going to fill you up, and it's not that good. So before I get going, do me a favor, click the like button, smash the like button, hit the like button. And if you would do me a huge favor, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And go to anamericaninbangkok.com for all your merch needs from me. We got mouse pads, hats, we got shirts, we got stickers, we got all kinds of stuff over there. So I'd appreciate that. And maybe hit the join button to become a member of the site, or just go down in the description and look in the description, and everything is there, and I'll appreciate whatever you do, even if it's just watching. You can use all the viewers I want. Now I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so if you would do me the favor and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Try to get me to 20,000. I got a bit of a ways to go, but I'm aiming for 20,000. So that's my goal. Thank you in advance. Good morning, everybody. But today we're going to talk about why you should think about, if you're living over here, why do you need to think about America? And I was thinking about it, and I thought, I don't care. I don't want to know. But that's really the lazy man's way out. And there are certain things that I do think about over there, and there are certain things that I should think about that I don't think about. But I'm going to go over some of the reasons why you should think about what's going on in America, or your own country, I guess. And also, what are the reasons why you shouldn't? Actually, I think I'm going to start with the reasons why you should not care about what's happening in America. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons not to care about what's going on in America. And first of all, the thing is, I've been here it's 29 years. And so I don't consider myself to be someone who lives in America. I'm not an American who lives in America. I'm an American in Bangkok. And so many years ago, I have really kind of just pushed my way away and stopped thinking about what is going on in America, what's happening there, am I going to be okay? I just don't think about that. Well, 150 baht times 7 is 1,050 baht. So a 1 week fast saves me that. But I'm not fasting for a week. I don't want to take it to that extreme. But I don't really eat breakfast most of the time. I just have a coffee. And then I eat around 2 o'clock. And then I eat dinner around 7 if I'm going to eat dinner, which I have been doing. So, anyway. All right. Let's get going with this subject. Food. Yeah, I think his math is a little off there. That's for 2 weeks, not 1 week. Food, energy, mortgages, and other aspects of the cost of living in the United States, UK, Australia, elsewhere, they are rising. No matter what you want to think, they are rising. Inflation has hit the United States, it's hit these other places. And, oh, Carlos, how you doing? What's happening? Good morning to you. How you doing? No, I'm not spending 300 baht a day. 300 baht would be easy. I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, on a normal day, I might spend 300 baht, or I might spend nothing, or I might spend 1,000 or 1,500, and then it might be, you know, I might go to the grocery and spend 500 or 1,000 baht. And I've had to stop myself from coming to the grocery and spending money on food here, because I know at the grocery it's going to be expensive, which down at the market it's not all that expensive. Carlos, I'm glad you're doing better. That's good to hear. So when are you coming back to Thailand? I guess that's the next question. If you're on a $2,000 a month pension, what you get in the U.S. is nowhere near what you'll get in Thailand or many other countries. And the economies may not recover. This is what I'm reading, and from what my research has shown me is the economies may not recover into, oh, you're here now. Oh, you're already back. Wow, that's quick, man. All right. Where are you? Are you in Pattaya or elsewhere? Economies may not recover until 2025 or 2026. You arrived on Saturday, okay. And, you know, I guess the big question, and this is what I thought, are your kids going to be better off with the way things are now, or are they going to be worse off? Yeah, you're up there, okay. So you're not in Pattaya, okay. I will be going to Pattaya in December. I think I'll be in Cambodia in November. And, you know, my wife has said, oh, we're going to go to Krabi this weekend. And she hasn't said anything about it. I said to her, did you buy your ticket? She's like, no, I haven't bought the ticket yet. I'm like, okay. And I'm not going to say anything because I'm not all that gung-ho to go to Krabi. So whatever happens, happens. Well, you know, this is the thing. You're a perfect example. You are covered when you go back to the States. You can get all the surgeries and everything. I believe they're covered for you, or at least a portion of them. But if you were here, it's not going to be covered. And that's the problem for a lot of people. But let me just continue here. And, you know, this is the thing, is that most foreigners, and I would hesitate to say this applies to me, but guess what? It does apply to me. And that is, they want the option of being able to go back to the United States, where the United States government and where everything in the United States is in a way that that you're going to be quite well off. You're not going to be in the toilet. You're not going to be struggling. You are doing more than just surviving. And I don't think $2,000 a month is going to cut it for most people. You know, if you're single and, you know, all factors lined up, if the stars are aligned, you're going to be okay. But I would not want to live off of that in the United States. Now, as an American who I live here and it's considered permanent, it really is crucial to recognize and to remember that you are fortunate as an American because you can go back. If you leave, it's not like if you go back, they're going to arrest you, or it's going to be very, very, very difficult to leave the country and stay away and not come back. If you do come back, there will be some kind of an issue. Now, the re-entry may be difficult, but you do have the option, first of all, of leaving, and you have the option of coming back, which is a good thing. You have the inherent right to come back to your country whenever you wish, with no legal barriers preventing such a return. Your U.S. passport serves as a key to re-entry, granting you the freedom to return regardless of your length of stay abroad. $2,000 a month is what you need if you get your house paid off and you're not in debt. That's the ideal situation for retired people. Yes. And even that is not a huge amount. However, being debt-free is what's really important. That's definitely important. You don't have $29,000 worth of credit card debt, and you know you don't own the mortgage. Oh, for the mortgage, and oh for a car, and oh for this, and oh for that. Because it's not only the car, it's the insurance and the maintenance. So, you know, I don't know how much it would be, but I know that when I first got my first car, this was in 1978, so 45 years ago. It was $150 a month for the car payment and $150 a month for the insurance. It was $300 a month. That's dirt cheap. I don't think it would be that way now. And I think, honestly, if you're going to get a vehicle and you're in the States, then maybe the way to go is to get a secondhand vehicle, pay it off, make sure that you buy it in cash, whether it's $3,000 or $5,000, whatever it is, you pay for it in cash. You don't have that debt hanging over your head. The flexibility of returning provides peace of mind, knowing that your homeland remains accessible should you ever decide to return for personal, professional, or familial reasons. However, it's important to consider the practicalities and implications of such a move. Returning to the United States after an extended period abroad involves various considerations. $500 a month is more, and more is normal now for an auto payment. Yeah, see, that's crazy. And even if you just say $100 for insurance, and maybe that's cheap, I don't know. That's $600 a month. That's a $600 bill that you have to pay all the time. You know, if you bought a car for $3,000 and that car lasted you for years, you're well off. Returning to the United States, you may need to address housing arrangements, secure health care coverage, explore employment opportunities, and adapt to any cultural and social changes in the United States. This is the thing. If I was to go back now, there would definitely be a re-entry period, and I'm not going back and working. I mean, I may work something part-time or, something like that. But I'm not going to go back and go, oh, well, I'm going to have to go get a job somewhere and work full-time. I'm not going to do that. Why? I don't need to. So, that's not in the cards. Staying informed about any changes in tax laws, immigration regulations, and other legal obligations is crucial, as they can evolve over time and affect your return. Ultimately, the decision to return to the United States is a deeply personal one, influenced by your unique circumstances, desires, and motivations for considering such a move. Whether you continue to choose your life in Thailand or entertain the idea of returning to the U.S., being aware of your rights as a U.S. citizen and preparing for potential future choices is a responsible approach to being an expat. Let's see here. Okay. It's also worth noting that while you have the option to return to the United States, maintaining a connection to your home country doesn't necessarily mean you have to worry about what happens there on a daily basis. And I think there are a lot of people who live here, and some of them are my viewers. They do worry about what goes on day to day. And I had to tell John before, I said, listen, you're going to be here, and after a while, the friends who were not that close to you, you're going to drop off. You're not going to call them. They're not going to call you. You're going to lose touch with them. That's just what happens. The friends that are really close, you'll stay in touch with them. If you live here, you don't need to worry about what happens daily. Exactly, that's my point. But there are a heck of a lot. Hey, you know what's going on? That's the SkyTrain. Let's see here. Many expats strike a balance between staying informed about key developments and fully embracing their new life abroad. I really do think that is me. The cost of medicine without insurance. You know what? The cost of almost everything in America is extremely high. And yes, medicine, that's a big thing. Especially if you're, 70 years old, 80 years old, and you're taking 10 different meds a day, and you've got to take them a couple times a day. Every time that you're getting medicine, it might cost you a couple $100. All this adds up. The beauty of living in an interconnected world is you can stay connected through various means like online news sources, social media, no thank you, and communication with friends and family in the U.S. This allows you to remain aware of significant events and decisions that might impact you directly or indirectly while still enjoying your expat experience in Thailand or elsewhere. The decision to stay engaged with U.S. affairs is a personal one, and you can tailor your level of involvement to suit your preferences and priorities as an expat, which I believe I have done. And while, there's not much that I care about, I can barely afford a boba. Some places are getting expensive here. And, I've even seen haircuts here now for 200 or 300 baht. And I'm like, wait a minute. It used to be 50 baht, then it's 70 baht. I always complain about this. It used to be 70. I don't get my hair cut at the barber most of the time because I'm like, why do I need to shell out that money? I can just shave my head or, cut it myself or whatever. And then Alex touches it up. And now, if I want to get my hair cut and get it shaved, it costs me 150 baht. It used to cost me 70 baht for a haircut and a shave. So, much better for me to do it myself, but that's me. All right, I'm going to go over some of the negative. Just joking, Richard. I finally got my money back this evening. Your money back? Okay. As an American living permanently in Thailand, why would I not want to continue to worry about what happens in the United States? Certainly, there are valid reasons why, as an American expat living permanently in Thailand, you might choose not to prioritize worrying about what happens in the United States. First of all, wait a minute, I can't even, this is all going quick here. While I was back there, on average, when I went to the supermarket, I would spend, for 3 days worth of food, what I would spend in Thailand for 2 weeks. Wow. I accidentally overpaid and wiped out my account. Ooh, well, that's not good. You don't want to be doing that. You sound like my father. He's always overpaying stuff. Carlos, with regards to that, when I was in Ecuador, I constantly am saying this, we bought 2 baskets full of groceries. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. Income from the United States Plus as a United States citizen will not be replaced anytime soon. Audi, Great British Pounds have weakened over the years versus the Thai baht. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very good. Chok D to you. But the reduced relevance, when you're here, what's going on in America doesn't really affect you as much. That's the first thing. It doesn't. For most people, it is less relevant. It makes me review the payment before I press send, but I can't argue with a computer. Yeah, well, there's a couple of things that I've overpaid in the past where I was like, why did I do that? And I just had to wait for the next month. I paid for 2 months instead of 1. Stress reduction. Reducing your exposure to the often contentious and polarizing political climate in the U.S. can contribute to lower stress levels and improve mental well-being. That's one reason why I just don't want to know. And, I'm like an ostrich. I stick my head in the ground. I don't want to know about what's going on, for the most part. Time zone differences. That's another thing. It can make it challenging to keep up with what's going on real time. But, this is a small thing. Cultural immersion. You may want to fully immerse yourself in Thai culture and society, focusing on your new life rather than being preoccupied with developments in the U.S. And that is a big reason for me. I'm occupied with what's happening here. I'm occupied with my life right now. I'm not occupied with what's going on over there. I don't consider everything going on in the United States something that I have to follow. I care less what happens back in the U.S. unless it impacts me. Exactly. When it comes to the news, I scan for keywords. That's exactly what I do, Carlos. I mean, I used to have all this news coming to me in Google. I had keywords set up and I would get the news through Google. Now I have expat news and I have Thailand, and that's it. I don't have any political commentary being sent to me. I delete all that, and I just don't get it anymore. Local priorities. Number 5, your life in Thailand may involve responsibilities, work, or personal interests that leave you with limited time or energy to focus on U.S. affairs. That's definitely it. Contrary to what some people may think, I am not as busy as I used to be. However, I still have things I have to think about. If I go home and the kids and the wife are watching a movie, most of the time they're like, hey, why don't you watch this movie with us? Why don't you sit down, spend some time with us? Oh, okay. Now, if I can't, I can't. But most of the time, if I'm available, that's what I do. If the kids need me to help them with something, then I help them with something. Oh, by the way, Alex has been back in the studio And he had his friend come over yesterday. His friend has this crotch rocket. I think it's, what was it? 750? Honda 750. Mean looking bike. I told him to be careful. But actually, the kid is the singer. And Alex was in the studio playing guitar with Yod. And then they were editing everything on the mixer and everything like that. I don't know what, other than that, I don't really know what he's doing. But he is getting the guitar worked on because it needed a few things done to it. So that's what's going on. They're working on his electric guitar right now, and it should be done in the next week. So that's something else I think about. I used to go to the studio with him all the time. I don't do that so much anymore. No, I'm going to tell him I don't want you to get it, and he knows how I feel about it. And he knows I used to ride, and he knows about all these things. So I really don't want him to get it. And I think he remembers that we had a family member, my wife's cousin, got hit by a truck on a motorcycle. Terrible, terrible thing. So I don't think he's going to do that. Number 6, different priorities. Living in a different country can shift your priorities towards local issues, local politics, and your immediate community. That's true, but I really don't. I follow politics a little bit just to know what's going on, and other than that, I don't really need to know about politics here either. But when it comes to certain issues, like, I'd like to see what happens with the marijuana policies here. What are they going to do? Is it going to be medical only? I kind of want to know, and it's not for me. I don't really care. It makes no difference to me whether they keep it legal. I would like them to keep it legal. I think that's a smart move. But I want to see what happens. So, and then there are other things that you think about, like daily things like, oh, I need to get some food. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to drink? What am I going to do today? Where am I going to go? Do I have to do anything today? You're always thinking about that, so that takes up quite a bit of time. Back to you, Bob. How you doing? Now, number 7. You don't want to follow what's going on because you want to escape from politics, which I was just talking about. And choosing not to worry about U.S. politics can offer a break from the constant barrage of political news and debates. And I will tell you this. Back in the day when CNN was the, all right, good deal. You're not in the hospital, I take it? Back 30 years ago, or whatever it was, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, CNN was really the main channel that everybody watched. It was always on. All right, well, that's good news. That is good news. I hate hospitals. But the politics of what's going on, it's too much. Back in the day when it was just CNN, you used to see CNN, and then what I remember is you'd watch something, and 15 minutes later, they tell you the same thing over again. Then they would keep talking, and then 15 minutes later, the same thing again. So they would just, and then, slowly that would fade out, and they'd bring in some other things. So, the politics, if you just check the headlines, and if it's something that you really think is important, you read it. That's probably enough. Because for the most part, I don't care about who wins the election. It's not going to affect me. I care that the right person gets elected. Who knows who that will be? I don't know, I don't know much about economy or politics, but I know that the price for the next day's flights to Bangkok are down from $3,000 to $900. I like that. Well, that is a good thing. I've heard that the prices are coming down a little bit. So that's great. One other thing I was going to say is, a lot of times I'm going to the gym. I remember when I was back in the States, and I used to have to go to work, and I, get up 6 o'clock in the morning and be to work by 8 o'clock, and I'd work until 4:30 or 5, and then I'd get out of there and I'd go to the gym, and then my day was gone. My day was gone. And I didn't want to go to the gym after that because I was tired. I didn't want to go. Well, now I have a little more time and I go to the gym, but I'm like, okay, if I was to go into a yoga class or do some lifting, that takes about an hour. Now, if I'm doing lifting and going to yoga, that's another hour, so that's 2 hours. I'm doing cardio, that's 2 hours. So I got to spend 2 to 2.5 hours every day in the gym. And that's almost to the point where it feels like it's too much. So I have to keep it in check, but I do go at least 5 times, 6 times a week, and that takes up some time, so that's something else to think about. Number 8, nationalization. If you become a permanent resident or citizen of Thailand, you might feel a stronger connection to your new home and choose to align your interests accordingly. Well, I would if I could. Be very difficult for me to become a citizen here, and to be honest, it rubs me the wrong way that I can't, because I would like to still be an American citizen, but I'd also like to be a Thai citizen. So that's another thing. Global perspective. You may believe that having a more global perspective and focusing on international issues is more meaningful or relevant to your life as an expat. And if you look at the people in the United States, a lot of them don't know what's going on in the world. Europeans tend to have a much more of a handle on the news in the world, not just America. They know what's going on in a lot of different countries. Americans tend to know what's going on in America. Not many people know what's going on in, wherever, in Africa or in Europe or whatever it might be. So this is another reason. Number 10, personal well-being. Ultimately, prioritizing your own happiness and well-being may mean disengaging from the United States to maintain a more stress-free and fulfilling life abroad. And I can tell you that is the number 1 reason for me. It's not number 10, it's number 1. When I let go of the news, when I let go of everything that's going on in the United States, no, I don't go to yoga at FBT. They don't have yoga there. I don't believe they do. The place that I go to has 8 locations throughout Bangkok. It's pretty convenient. There, if I wanted to go, I could go to other yoga classes, or I could go to, lift weights somewhere else, because, you can go anywhere out of the 8 places. So, if you're over on Saturn, there's a place in Saturn. Wherever you are, there's a place pretty close by. Summer Hill and what's the name of that? Something Park. I think it starts with a P. Those are fairly close. I mean, they're like 20, 30 minutes away from here. I can go there pretty quickly if I wanted to go there, but I never do. And I'm thinking about maybe going just to check out some of these other places. It's important to find a balance that works for you. I'm always hearing about work-life balance, and how I just saw a thing the other day about how Australians don't have the proper work-life balance, and that some of the millennials feel that they are getting into the right work-life balance because they don't want to work. Summer Hill, yeah, they don't want to work at the office. And the older people are saying, you need to go into the office. This is your workplace. If you're at home, you're tempted by too many things. You can't work as well. And the millennials are like, no, 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 no. And this was going on in Australia. This was, I think, on 60 Minutes Australia. So, While staying informed about the U.S. can have advantages, your decision should align with your personal preferences, lifestyles, and priorities as an expat in Thailand. And I would say, for me, I got the perfect work-life balance. I got the perfect crotch rocket. Let's see here. So, while living as an expat in Thailand, it's understandable that your primary focus might be your current environment and lifestyle. However, there are several valid reasons to continue paying attention to what happens in the U.S. if you're an American citizen. Or Australia, if you're an Australian, or the UK, whatever. Number one, and this is one that I think of all the time, is financial interests. You may have investments, retirement accounts, or other kinds of assets in the United States, and keeping abreast of economic and financial developments can directly impact your financial well-being. That's why I keep an eye on Social Security and Medicare and all these other kind of programs that they have there, but especially Social Security. I'm keeping tabs on. I want to know what the cost of living adjustment is this year and also next year, and then I'll determine on when am I going to take it, because I can take it next year if I want, and it would help for sure. It'd make things a lot easier, or a fair bit easier. Okay, so number one is financial interests. Number two, and I don't really worry about this, is taxation. The U.S. has tax obligations for its citizens and permanent residents, even if you live abroad. Staying informed about tax laws can help you optimize your tax situation. And I will say that, to me, the United States has got the most screwed up tax system. How is it they're taxing on people that are abroad, expats abroad, American expats? They are taxing these people, and yet they don't have enough to be able to pay off the debt, the national debt. They never have enough. It's because they spend too much. Well, why don't you worry about how much you spend instead of taxing everybody? You need to be fair and stop thinking about, oh, I'm going to spend on this, I'm going to spend on that, we're going to spend on this, we're going to spend on that. They spend too much money. That's the bottom line when it comes to the national debt. They can get rid of a lot of things, like giving money to foreign countries. Stop giving money for 5 years, 10 years. Make it mandatory, make it the law. The U.S. cannot give funds for wars or whatever else that happens, and stop giving billions of dollars away. U.S., what is this? U.S., USA, USA. Yes, and USA, a citizen, I only have to keep tabs on my home state and city where I have a house that provides rental income. Okay, well, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. These kind of things are what is important. Number three, family and friends. If you have family and friends in the U.S., their well-being and major life events may be the reason to stay connected. Now, I will say, for me, this is number one. This is really the biggest reason, is my family. My family is back in the States. My sister, my father, and my mother. And of course I want to know they're doing well. Now, I will say this, they're all doing well. And I really, while I do worry about them, I do think about them, and I talk to my mother every week, my mother and father. I don't have to worry about them. Thinking about them, that's a different story. Because, like I said, I talk to them, I call them once or twice a week, I call. And I stay in touch with them. I don't call on video chats. I never do. It's always on the phone. And it's free. So, that's a great thing. Now, my friends, I keep in touch with my friends. Every once in a while, I give somebody a call. I keep track. I got, you know, maybe 10 friends, and maybe I call a couple of them, you know, once a month, or I call a couple others every 3 months, every 6 months. I call and talk to them, or they call me. So this is another thing that's very important, is your family and friends. And to me, this is the most important. Because, you know, I want to know what's happening. Now, if there is one thing that would bring me back to the States, it would be my parents or my sister. If they had a major problem and they wanted to support, I would be there. So that's something that you have to think about. That's something that I'm always thinking about, and that, you know, hopefully nothing will happen, but things do happen, and it pays to keep track of what's going on. Also, health care. Your U.S. healthcare coverage might still be relevant or necessary for emergencies or specialized medical treatments. That goes without saying. Now, I have insurance here. A lot of people have insurance here, and it covers them. It's great. But if anything major happened, I'd probably have to go back to the States, and I would get VA coverage. That's a good reason to go back. You know, but you can, if you're not too old, you can get health care here. You know, you can always get insurance that will cover you here, and if you really want it, you can pay, you know, you can pay top dollar. And if you're going to pay close to what you are paying in the United States, what are they doing over there? Now, I got to tell you, if you look here in the front and you look at this, all the tile, it'll happen, yes. If you look at this tile, they had a couple of girls sitting here with like a screwdriver and a little buffer, and what they were doing was digging out the grout on the ground and making it to where it's perfectly level. And they were just sitting here all day long, going from one square to the next square to the next square to the next square. That was their job. They were here this morning, and I don't know what they were doing, but they were here this morning, and they're gone now. So, okay, something else here, education, number 5. If you have children, you might be interested in the U.S. education system for their future. I don't really know that that is the most important thing. It's one of the most important things. There's a lot of people here that they would rather their kids went to school wherever they are, whether it's Thailand or elsewhere. It didn't work out for my kids because I didn't want to go back to the United States. And, you know, bringing Bo back, you know, all of us moving over there would have been difficult when they were kids. It would have been really difficult, and I don't know. I'm happy where they are now. But there's a lot of people that... I knew a guy that used to live here. He moved to Singapore. His kid went to, like, private school for kindergarten and first grade, and then he moved back to the UK so that his kids could get educated back in the UK, which, you know, that was great. Great for him. Great for them. Okay, legal and immigration status. What's going on over here? These people, I don't know. They're having a laugh fest over here. I don't know if any of you guys saw in the video yesterday. By the way, you know, check out those videos in the series, the 3 videos where I'm spending 150 baht a day. But yesterday, I was walking along, and there was this lady, and I kind of walked by her, and she started yapping. I mean, right away, she started talking to me, and she was a little cuckoo. And, you know, she's talking about video, and then yak, and I just walked away from her. But it was only, you know, like a little 10-second interaction, but I was like, man, I got to get away from this lady. She's kind of nutso. Okay, legal changes, visa requirements, or immigration policies in the U.S. could have implications for your status as an expat, especially if you ever plan to return. I'm glad you smashed the like button. Giga Alpha Dad Scott back at it again. Hello, Mr. Tokyo Sam. How you doing? I'm doing all right, man. It is hot here. It's humid. It's very humid. This is what's going on today. I'm in the middle of a concrete jungle. It really is a concrete jungle. Scott, you're the best man in Asia, and we thank you. Got it. Coolest dad. Well, thank you very much. Sammy has met Alex. Hung out with Alex in Tokyo. Alex had good things to say about you. Yeah. If he goes back to Tokyo, you guys can hook up again, hang out, do your thing again. He wants to go back. He's like, I want to go back. I'm like, if you forgot that you need to get your mouth work done and you need to maybe, you know, do a little work. We just walked around with canned beers and shot the shit. Oh. Yeah, well, that's good. You know, you gotta have a little fun. The whole time I kept lecturing him on how awesome you are and to never to disrespect your awesomeness. Well, you know, when it comes to, Alex, have you done the dishes? I'll do them in a minute. No, do them right now. Because I know your minute turns into 3 hours. He's not always respectful with that kind of thing, but, you know, that's all right. He's a kid. Well, he's young. I'll put it that way. He's not a kid anymore. He's a young man. All right, let's see here. Getting back to this. Number 7, cultural and social ties. Maintaining cultural and social connections to your home country can be important for your identity and sense of belonging. Doesn't matter to me. These things don't matter. The cultural and social ties really does not matter to me. My identity is not tied to the United States. I can tell you that. And, you know, well, it's nice. I'm an American, okay. And I, you know, myself and other Americans have, you know, we are likely to hook up, or, you know, we have some kind of connection. But other than that, I'm not really worried about it. How much did his trip cost overall? Well, I think we gave him, what did we give him? For cash, we gave him, let's see, I gave him like, well, we gave him like 20,000 baht. I gave him like 10,000. Bo gave him 10,000. He had 20,000 baht plus the ticket. And he stayed for 8 days. So, and the ticket he got was, I think it was 15,000. 15,800, something like that. But he got a great price on the ticket. Because he went with Thai Airways. So they were really good, and yeah, he had fun, you know. So I told him this time, if you want to go, you got to pay for half of it. You got to pay for half the ticket. No, it's not bad. I mean, you know, he was pretty smart about how he worked things out, and you know, he met all kinds of people. He went all kinds of places, and you know, he didn't mind. If he had to walk like a mile, he didn't mind. You know, he would rather walk the mile than, you know, get into a taxi and spend the money on it. So, you know, he was pretty, believe me, Alex is smart about his money. Nicholas, I don't know. Nicholas is a little more free spending than Alex. Alex is, I don't want to say he's tight, but he's very smart about his money. He's very frugal. And, you know, like he stayed in a guest house, and I think it cost, well, I paid for the guest house. It was 900 baht a night for the guest house. So for 8 days, I think that was 7,200 baht, something like that. 7 days was 6,300 baht. Yeah. So, you know, he stayed in a little place that he had a tiny little room. Tiny. I mean, it was like there was a bed. It was a capsule. That was what it was. It was a capsule place. And he had a little bed, and they had a commons room where he hung out sometimes, but, you know, and they had internet in it, and he was squared away with that. There was no problem with that, so he had everything he needed. He was in good shape. Okay, comes to cultural ties and cultural and social ties, I have no reason to really worry about this stuff. Global impact. So this is global impact. Let me see here. Yeah, well, if you don't want to have global perspective, or you do want to have global perspective, then you need to focus on international issues. If you don't want to, the U.S. has significant influence on global politics, economics, and culture. What happens there can have repercussions worldwide. Now, if you really think about it, he told me not to tell you this, but he told me that he loves you, and not a day goes by he doesn't think about how you saved him from that fire. Oh, really? Well, I don't think about it every day, but that's nice. He doesn't even remember that fire. So now you got all these people walking around. They're like, I don't know, engineers or something, construction people. They're all walking around. Let me show you here. They're all checking everything out. Let's see here. You know, kids, they are never honest with their feelings and their... Yeah, he's definitely different than me, but that's good. He's different from me. He's different from Nicholas. Nicholas is different from me, and you know, it's interesting though. It's interesting as to watch Nicholas and Alex interact with each other, but also to interact with my wife. And you know, I know how they are with me. No problem. When it comes to them interacting with each other, you know, they're brothers. So they're like, I don't want him with me. I don't want him hanging out. But then if they have an opportunity to go see a cool movie together, they run to the movie theater together. You know, that's how they are. And, you know, they'll fight a little bit. They sit in each other's, you know, they'll sit in each other's rooms. And usually it's Alex that sits in Nicholas's room. Nicholas will tell him to get out. He gets out. And then, you know, Nicholas will go, well, where's Alex? What's he doing? I don't know. You got to look for yourself. Anyway. All right. So let's see. Where are we here? Voting rights. If you maintain U.S. citizenship, you may want to exercise your rights to vote in U.S. elections and have a say in your home country's direction. Now, yeah, that's true. And I'm very hesitant to vote this go round. And the reason that I'm hesitant is because I just don't know. You know, before it was, listen, I'll vote one way because I want to vote against the other person. Now I'm thinking, I don't really want to vote against anybody, and I don't really see anybody that I can go, okay, they're going to be a good president. I don't know. Maybe Trump will get elected, and he'll be the guy. Maybe that'll be the case. I don't know. If so, well, that's a different story. But yeah, I don't know. And I personally, I don't want to say I can do without voting, because it is a right, and it's a right that you should take seriously. However, and this is actually Sam, I don't know if you're still here, but as someone who has lived in Japan for years and years, do you still feel connected to the United States, or do you feel like you need to think about what's happening in the United States? Do you follow everything that's going on, or do you just basically live in your own bubble there in Japan? Because that's kind of what we're talking about today. Not one bit. Well, how long have you been there in Japan? Like 20 years or something? It's been a long time. And this is exactly what I mean. Is that after a while, you really, yeah, almost 20 years. Okay. I mean, after a while, like, I just think to myself, what am I keeping up with all this stuff going on over here? Well, I don't need to do it. You don't need to. Most of the time, it doesn't affect you. What's happening in the United States most of the time does not affect me here in Thailand. It wouldn't affect me in Ecuador. It wouldn't affect me really wherever I am. I don't vote back home. I don't visit back home. It's weird watching all these new movies and TV. Well, it is weird because I can say that there's a lot of things that go on or that are going on in movies and TV shows, especially TV shows, and I can't bear to watch it. It's, you know, I'm really turned off by it. And one of the things that happens, and I'm sure that people know about this, is on sitcoms. I never watch sitcoms anymore. I don't watch, you know, whatever these shows are that are on TV. First of all, TV is kind of in the past. But these sitcoms that are on, they always make the guy look like he's the dummy. And the wife is the smart one. What gives? You know, why is he got to be the stupid one all the time? It's ridiculous. So, you know, that alone turns me off to the vast majority of sitcoms. And, you know, let's face it, a lot of them aren't funny. You know, you got the laugh tracks on there where, you know, people are laughing and you're like, okay, so what's so funny? And then when it comes to movies, they always got the token this guy, the token that guy. You know, they've always got to have the token person. You know. And that right there, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not how it would be. Most of the time, it's not that diversified. You know. So that's something else. All right, let me continue here and finish this up here. I'm out here sweating like a pig. See, I'm sweaty. Oh. Well, 35.57 Baht to the dollar. 29 air quality index. 83 degrees. High 88, low of 79, which, you know, when I first came out this morning, I thought, oh, it's nice and cool out. But that was because I was on a motorcycle. And on a motorcycle, it was nice and cool. Low of 79, and the feel-like temperature at 90 degrees. I'm sure it's probably about 94 right now. And 78% humidity, so it is quite humid right now. And, you know, that's the way it goes. All right, so number 10 on this list, personal interest. Many expats maintain a strong personal interest in their home country's news, culture, and development simply because it's where they were raised and spent a significant part of their lives. Now, what I will say is, in a few years, I'll have been here half of my life. When I hit 64, I'll have been here half of my life. I'll have lived here half of my life. So as time goes by, if I'm here past that, I'll live here more than half of my life. So does that make me more Thai than American? No. But, you know, I would say, since I'm here, I'm thinking about here. It's kind of like Zen. Think in the moment. You know, you're here. You got to live your life in the now. You know what I'm saying? And while it's essential to embrace your new home and immerse yourself in its culture, staying informed about what's happening in the U.S. can help you make informed decisions and ensure that you're prepared for any potential impacts on your life as an expat. Now, I can tell you that in 30 years of being here, the only impact that I've had that was thrust upon me came from inside the country. It came from the Thai government. And it was fairly minor. And, you know, things like, let me think here. Okay, what is it? The income affidavit. There's somebody who was complaining about how the United States did away with the income affidavit. No, that's not what happened. The United States did not do away with the income affidavit here in Thailand. Thailand said, apparently they were discussing the income affidavit with the Americans, and they said to the Americans, well, you need to provide us assurance that the person is actually making that much money. And they said, well, we swear him in, we make him swear that this amount is true. And they were like, no, that's not enough. You need to provide proof. You need to have proof that he is earning that much. And the United States government said, no, we can't do that. We can't do that for every single person. It's not feasible. And so the Thai government said, okay, well, then you're not going to use the income affidavit anymore. So it was the Thai government, not the United States government. So you can be mad at the Thai government, not the, you know, I mean, if you want. Or you can be mad at the U.S. government. It doesn't matter. Be mad at them all. I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me. I try not to be too mad at the governments because, you know, every government is pretty much the same. They're out for themselves. That's how I think. This subject is about finding a balance between your past and present, which can enrich your overall expat experience. So, are you one of these people who is constantly thinking about what's going on in America? I'm not. You know, now, since I've been here for a long time, I don't really, my energy is over here. My energy is not spread out thin and thinking about what's going on in America. But of course, I follow things that are going on. Some things I need to follow them. Okay, what's going on here? They're moving this over here. Where are they putting it? What are they doing? They're just going to set it up here? What's going on here? Now they have a pipe sticking out of the ground there. I'm like, well, and I was thinking as I walked up, what are they going to do with this pipe now that the pipe is sticking up? How are they going to get around it? And maybe they're going to put this big fence up around it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But as you can see, it takes about 10 of them to figure out what to do. Good morning there, Mr. Robert Mack. Good morning, good morning. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but as you can see, they're trying to make an important decision. Anyway, let's get back to the now. If they do anything, I'll let you know. But that's what's happening over there. Oh, did they, I can't see it right now, but I was going to say, did they take the sign down? But they haven't taken the sign down. The sign is still up. Anyway, I'm curious to know, what do you think about this subject? And, you know, if you're not here now, you watch this stream after the fact. if you're here after the fact, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Are you constantly looking at what's going on in the United States? And if you are an American, well, first of all, if you're an American and you live in America and you want to come to Thailand, your mind is always here in Thailand. You're thinking about moving over here. Why are you not here? I understand if you're in the process of moving here, it might take some time. But if you don't have a plan in place, if you haven't said, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell my business, I'm going to take the money, and I'm going to pay everything off that I have, so I have no debt, and then the money left over is what I'm going to live in Thailand for a while, and I'm going to have to figure out how to make money while I'm there. Are you doing that? Is that something you're doing? What is it you're doing? You need to have a plan in order to get over here. And most of the people that I'm dealing with now, most of the people that I talk to, they're waiting for a pension. They have a pension. They have there's a couple of people who they have a lot of money. They've earned money, they've saved money, they've been given money, and then, they're able to come here. But maybe they've got to tie up some loose ends back in the U.S. before they can come over here. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, okay, are you really concentrating, if you live here, are you concentrating on what's going on in the United States, and are you thinking about it all the time? Is this something that you're one of these guys who's constantly looking, what's going on with Biden? What did he say now? What's the meme of the day? Oh God, I get sick of it. That's why I can't look at Twitter. Even Instagram now. I don't want to look at these things now. Because they all have these, and I'm trying to curate things to where I don't have to look at this stuff. What are they doing? I don't really know what they're doing, but they're just going to hold up this thing until they figure out what to do, I guess. I don't know. Or they're going to take a photo. I don't know. But if you are not living here, and you're back in the States, okay, I understand, you want to concentrate on what's going on in the United States, but you're thinking about coming over here. What's your plan for getting over here? Do you have a degree? If you have a degree, you should be able to at least teach English here. If you have a degree, maybe you can use it in your field over here. Maybe. It depends. This is the thing. It's not all that easy to find work here. So what are you doing that will give you enough money to do more than just exist here? Because, how much was it? What was somebody talking about with me? Oh, if they had like disability and it was $600 a month, they could live in Thailand. And I said, no, you're not going to live in Thailand off of $600 a month. You're going to exist. You're barely getting by. You need more than that. Now, Tom told me he's going to get around $1,500 from Social Security, but he has another pension that he can file for and that he's going to file for that he gets like $500. So he has $2,000 coming in. He doesn't have to do anything. That's enough. Now, will it be enough in the future? Hard to say. But I would say, going forward, if he was smart with his money, he could easily get by on $1,500 because, he's got a wife and his wife works. She makes money. She contributes. They're both contributing. He could easily save $500 a month, put it away. And, in a year, he's got what, $6,000? It's not much. 6,000, you go, oh, 6,000. Oh, but in 5 years, it's 30,000. That's still not a huge amount, but it's better than living off of $600 a month. So, alrighty. well, doesn't look like they're going to do anything over here. They're just holding this thing up. I don't know why. But there's about 3, 6, 9, there's 12 people, 13 people over there right now. And all they're doing is holding the thing up. So. But you can see, oh, I'll show you right now, you can see what it is. You see that piece of blue that's sticking out of the ground there? That's what's over there by the planter where they're holding up that thing. And I'm wondering, are they gonna cut that off? Are they gonna trim it to be even with the floor? I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna go about there. There's actually two things. Actually, there's three. There's two pipes. There's the blue pipe, the black pipe, and then there is an electrical, something that looks electrical coming out of the ground. Now, how are they going to cover that up? I have no idea. What are they going to do with it? What's their plan? Anyway, I don't need to think about it that much because it'll get taken care of, and if it doesn't, I'll make sure I don't walk into it and stub my toe or bang into it or do whatever. So, thank you very much. Listen, I gotta say one more time, please do me a favor. Smash the like button. And really, I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. I know that may not be all that many, but I'm trying to get to 20,000. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you really want to do something worthwhile, become a member of the channel by clicking the VIP, the join button down below the video screen. Click join. For $1.99, you can become a sponsor. I'd appreciate that. Go to my website at americaninbangkok.com. Pick up some of my merch. Let me think here. Shirts, hats, mouse pads, stickers. There's two other things. Tote bags. And what else? I don't know. There's something else. Stickers, tote bags, mouse pads. Anyway, there's stuff. Go over there to AnAmericanInBangkok.com. Take a look. Maybe get a little something for yourself. Go down in the description. There's a bunch of different ways. You can follow me on social media or whatever if that's what you want to do. Or what's really important is that you just keep watching. I would appreciate that very much because in the end, that's what's most important. Just keep watching. So, tonight I have some video coming up. I haven't even shot it yet. I'm going to have to shoot it tonight. And I have a yoga class at 5 o'clock, so I have to get my lunch and either get my dinner at the same time, or I have to do my yoga class and then go and get dinner, film it all, go back home, edit everything, and then upload part 4 of the 150 baht daily food challenge, which, what is that, $4.50 or something like that? You get $4.50 a day to eat. Now, could you do that in America? I don't think so. Even if you're going on the cheap, even if you're doing the 7-Eleven thing, I don't know that you'd be able to do it for $4.50. That's pretty cheap. So, now, yeah, I don't even know. Honestly, I'm thinking about it. You can get some boiled eggs in the 7-Eleven in America, I would think, and it's probably not going to cost you $4.50, but that'd be all you can eat for the day. You get to eat 2 eggs. Aren't you lucky? Anyway, there's a whole lot of people right now checking this out. Look at that over there. I don't know exactly what they're working on, what they're figuring out, but now, as you can see, most of them are not wearing their mask anymore. as I have been saying, more and more people are not wearing their masks. Can of beans, $1.25. Well, that's about maybe 60 baht, 50. No, what is that? 52. No, that's even less. Let's see here. That's about 35 and 9, 44 baht. And a can of beans here is at least that much or more if you buy it in the grocery. You want to buy a can of beans in the grocery, it's going to cost you more than $1.25. Beans are expensive. Tuna fish, what they've done is they've downsized the size of the tuna fish and made it the same price. But it used to be a lot cheaper, and now it's a bit more expensive. It's closing in on 50 baht for a can of tuna, which is pretty expensive considering what it used to be, which it used to be about 32 baht, something like that. Milk now is always 95 baht. It used to be 79 baht, 82 baht. Now it's 95. So prices are going up, and here's the thing. Thailand, you can say, oh, Thailand is so cheap. No, it's not cheap. And I will say this until I'm blue in the face. Thailand is cheaper in some categories. In some categories, it is cheaper. If you want to go out and get a meal, you can get a meal for... Listen, I had a meal yesterday. It was 40 baht. I had an egg. It was 30 baht. But if I didn't want the egg, I could have got the meal for 40 baht. That was a dish. That was my lunch. Could have been 40 baht. That's like $1.20. It's not all that much. So you're saving there. But if you go out and you want to buy some groceries and you want cheese, cheese is going to be more expensive. You want wine. Wine is expensive. I don't usually buy wine because it's too expensive. I mean, you want a cheap bottle of wine, it's going to cost you 500 baht. That's 15 bucks. Not cheap. And I like wine. I like beer, but I don't drink it much, but I like wine. And, for what you got to pay, it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. Once in a while, okay. But, that's another thing that, you're not going to get wine for dirt cheap here. In Ecuador, we had wine, it was $6, $7 for a half a liter. And that was a pretty good price. You're not going to get that here. You're not going to find it here. Now you go on the SkyTrain. The SkyTrain now is more expensive. I thought about going somewhere today, and I went, you know what? I just don't feel like going out because it's so humid, and it might rain. And I thought, where am I going to go? So maybe on Friday, when I stream again, I will jump on the SkyTrain and go somewhere. But I have to think about where am I going to go, how close is it going to be, and then the price of the SkyTrain is rising. Still probably cheaper than a lot of places, definitely cheaper than Japan. But, if you're going to ride on the SkyTrain, you're going to have to make sure that, you got a little bit of dough on the card because it all adds up. That's the bottom line. It all adds up. And, the only thing that you can do is you can take another form of transportation that might be cheaper, like the boat, which sometimes I do, or you cannot ride on the SkyTrain. And, I got to go back again I'm talking about the SkyTrain. The MRT over on Ramkhameng Road, it looks like it's almost done. It looks, actually, they've got the entrances closed off and you're not allowed to enter. It says, do not enter. But I was reading about it. It's not going to be completed until 2025, 2026. I know I've said this before, but it's not going to be ready for at least another 2 years because they haven't bought the trains. It's like, get your act together. What are you doing? People need that. I want to travel on the MRT. I like the MRT better than the BTS because the MRT gives discounts to seniors. So anyway, that's all I have. The end of another stream. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Those of you who did, and those of you who joined in the conversation, I really appreciate it. Those of you who didn't join in the conversation, that's fine. You can lurk all you want, or you can leave a comment every now and then. That's fine too. But that's all I have. So I'm Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. Until next time, Chok Di Leo Jerkan Mai, which means good luck and see you later. So be good, and I guess I'll see you on Friday. Thank you, Mr. Sam. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. You hear that? It's noisy here. Let me just you can look at what's going on here for the next 30 seconds. Check it out. All right, see you guys later.